Is that a trailer for the Conjuring movie I see on your phone?
There's a new The Conjuring, and it's called The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh, I'm going to go hang myself now.
And that is not a good title.
That's the worst title I've ever heard.
And
very bad.
What's his name? Isn't directing. James Wan.
James Wan.
He's not directing.
The Devil Made Me Do
The
It?
Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh my, is it a comedy? Like,
I'm sure
that sounds ridiculous. Unless they're taking it like on a self-aware spin.
That sounds like something that they literally had no other idea on what to name this movie.
Either that, or I would imagine that it's something someone said in one of their cases, and that's like what it will be.
Oh, yeah.
The devil made me do it.
Precisely. It's being directed by the dude who did The Curse of La Llorona.
Oh, okay, so it's a bad
What?
movie.
Yeah.
The Curse of La Llorona. Do you remember that came out?
I'm not a big horror movie guy, but no.
I enjoy them when they're good.
I love them when
I
they're
enjoy
good.
them when they're good.
Actually,
but
I enjoy them when they're
unfortunately,
bad too.
there's not a ton
Like
of
the
good
third act of all of them.
Like Open House.
Like Open House. They wanted to
Open
bang.
House.
That mom and that son wanted each other in more ways than just parental they wanted themselves
They wanted each other.
and each other. That's a very bad title, though.
Yep.
Rise of Skywalker.
I mean, that's not a great title either.
Well, it could be if, it could be if, depending on how it plays into the movie. I've been doing my deep dives into the internet.
You?
In hype.
Shocker.
Yeah, in hype for this film. Trying to temper expectations, trying to be realistic, trying not to go overboard with just, And I got to say that I've been watching a lot of one-on-one interviews. And juxtaposed to how people felt when they watched The Last Jedi, the cast, I mean, not just people, they seem to be very generally positive about this movie. They seem to be very kind of proud to be in it. And that's the things that I watch those interviews for, because they're always going to like give off PR speak and say one thing or another. And no actor is going to like trash a movie that they're in.
Well, yeah.
No.
But they could very well be silent.
Yeah.
Just like Ben Affleck.
It's like, hey, you were in this
shot of him.
Yeah.
Hey, you were in this movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. So they all seem very generally excited for people to see it.
Yeah.
Especially Daisy Ridley, who I appreciate more and more because she doesn't bullshit people, even media. The one clip I tried to send you last week on my Snapchat and it messed up or whatever, but it was right around they were doing the press junket for The Last Jedi. And some guy was like, hey, congrats on The Last Jedi. So, like, are you pleased with the film? And she goes, sure. And I'm like, whoa, like there's a lot.
She didn't like that at all.
Yeah, she did not like that movie.
That's funny.
This one, people ask, because they just had the cast screening like last week sometime, not too long ago. And this one, she's like, there's so much that happens, like don't get up out of your seat. And then she's like, after it was over, I had to go to the bathroom to make sure that no one saw me crying and I didn't want to cry around people. So this generally seems to be, and have you seen you saw the video of Richard E. Grant?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see the Richard E. Grant video?
No.
I put it in the group and you ignored it. But no, it's good. But so he loses his mind. His reaction was like the first reaction, and he put out a tweet that was like, "This is incredible. This is all like hyperbolic word after hyperbolic word."
Sure.
But it seemed very real. And granted, he's an actor who's in the movie, and I'm sure he has what I like to call creator separation syndrome, where he can't, when you're involved in something that you're creating, it's automatically great.
Yeah, for sure.
No matter if it actually is or not.
Yeah.
But he seemed very high on the film. Very, very, very proud of it. And I have a good feeling about this movie.
Good.
I'm excited.
I do too. I get hyped everything I see.
I'm excited to go see it.
And I actually have a list here, gentlemen.
So you've told us.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think we should say this is the first ever episode of Notes for Next Time.
Yes, it is.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Better episode 1 than The Phantom Menace.
Yes, but...
Wow. So naturally, it's going to be better than episode 2 already.
Oh, man.
We are not going to have this conversation.
What's on the list?
I hope so.
It is on the list. There's a lot of things on
Wonderful.
the list. But no. This is the first episode of Notes for Next Time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very excited to be doing this with you guys. I'm excited that we're here, and I just want to say thanks.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
So the Rise of Skywalker, we've talked about it for a second. I formulated a list of 30, yes, with some incredible help from Leah, my beautiful, beautiful significant other.
Wasn't that sweet?
And I have a list here of predictions. 30 things that could or could not happen in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker.
I'm ready.
And the way we're going to do this...
Mechanical pencil.
Yeah, the way we're going to do this is you're each going to have an answer sheet. None of you have seen these questions, right?
Nope.
No, sir.
All right, so I'm the only one who has knowledge of these questions at this table. And I'm going to give you an answer sheet. And
I feel like I'm back in college.
I know.
I was like, it's even blue paper.
yeah, well, this was Leah.
Is that a Scantron?
Well, it might as well be. And Leah answered too because she wanted to play, but I went ahead and blocked her answers out so you would not be influenced one way or another. So these are my answers. There you go. There's your blank answer sheet.
Thank you.
There you go, Taylor. There's your blank answer sheet. So just
Blank.
they are yes or no questions. When I ask you the questions, it's very important that you just keep your decision making to yourself, answer them silently, and don't cheat on one another now.
Oh, this is just like school.
Yeah,
I was never good at not cheating.
me too.
It's always just a little bit easier to do that.
Okay.
Slightly.
And then once we've all answered, uninfluenced by each other, we're going to go back and talk about why we chose what we chose.
Awesome.
So they're all yes or no questions. Are you guys ready?
Should I write yes or just write why?
Whatever you want to do, Taylor. I'm really, this is like college. You get to choose your path to success. So,
I took an interesting one.
yes, we all did.
Mine didn't end in success.
So are you guys ready
We still
for
appreciate you.
the notes for next time, official Rise of Skywalker predictions?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's go.
Question number 1. Remember, answer to yourselves. Will there be any form of time travel?
I have a question.
First question.
Yeah, what's up?
Do
Needs
flashbacks
clarification.
count?
No. I would assume not.
No, they don't.
Okay.
Will there be any form of
Like
time travel?
physical time travel.
Any form of time travel, whether it be through the Force. Yeah, that's a good. If you need me to expound upon questions, I can. Whether it be through the Force or through some kind of machinery. Whether it be
Okay.
any form of time travel. You both answered?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Question number 2. Will the Millennium Falcon be destroyed? Question number 3. Will the original Trinity, Han, Luke, and Leia, be on screen together one last time? Are we ready to move on?
Yes.
All right. Question number 4. Is Rey actually a nobody? Sir.
Soldier for nickels.
Soldier for nickels. So the next set of questions are the questions I like to call the death questions.
Oh, wow.
So these are all very similar, but they're very important. Will Kylo die? Will Rey die? Will Poe die? Do you think Finn will die? Hey, don't feel rushed. Take as much time as you want. I can sit here all day. Lastly, on the death questions, will Leia Organa, or is she known as Leia Skywalker now? I don't know. Will she die?
I think she's still Organa, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Probably. Are we all done with the death questions?
Yes.
Okay. You guys are proud of your sound in your answers so far.
I'm proud.
All right. Question number 10. Will we see or hear the Emperor in the first 20 minutes of the film? This doesn't count as somebody mentioning him. Will we see him or hear him? All right. Question number 11. Will Snoke be mentioned? All right, gentlemen. Question number 12. Will Luke Skywalker be in the movie in any physical form, not just a Force ghost? All right. Question number 13. Will we see multiple Force ghost cameos? So deliberative in here.
I'm covering my answers like anyone's.
I know. Where are we at? Okay.
14.
Question number 14. Now, this is a tricky one. I'll explain it. Did Palpatine physically survive? So did his body survive when he was dropped down the shaft in Episode 6? Did he physically survive?
Yeah, carbonated beverages were not a good choice before this.
I know. I'm just burping up a storm. You guys like these questions so far?
Yeah.
Yes, I honestly can say it's good work.
I know. Thank you. You haven't got to the good ones yet. No, we have.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. What'd I do? Question number 15. This is a big one. Will Kylo Ren be redeemed? Question number 16. Will there be a romance subplot? You're like, oh, I didn't even think of that.
No, I didn't. Is it a could there or should there?
Yeah, will there be a romance subplot?
I don't like what I wrote down, but...
You know it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to influence you. Question number 17. Will the line, I have a bad feeling about this, be said?
I mean, it has in every single episode, has it not?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
Question number 18. This is a more structural question about the overall craftsmanship of the film. Will the Leia scenes feel natural? Will they feel like they fit into the movie and not just forced in?
I see what you did there.
Here's a big one, guys. Question number 19. Will Anakin Skywalker be in this movie in any shape or form? Whether it be through his voice, through a Force ghost, will he be in this movie?
Anakin Skywalker. The character of Anakin Skywalker.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll take the extension of Darth Vader as well.
Okay.
But Anakin Skywalker. Question number 20. Will Kylo Ren and Rey team up at any point? I feel like I'm giving a seminar. This is weird, but Question number 21. Is Finn Force sensitive? Taylor's like,
I heard your answer.
Yeah. All right.
Very opinionated on that topic.
Yeah. Okay. Now, 22, question number 22 is a bit weird, okay? So the question is, will C-3PO's memory be wiped? Now, I don't know that he can die. He's a droid.
Yeah.
He can get blasted to bits, of course. But I think...
It's happened before.
I mean, K2SO died.
Yes.
Right?
But 3PO's,
In theory, yes.
3PO's memory, though, was wiped in Episode 3 leading into 4, which
Yeah.
is why he had no recollection of
Correct.
the events prior. So I'm curious if his memory is going to be wiped. Because in the trailer, right, not to get too off topic, but in the trailer, he has all those wires attached to his head. And he may be saying goodbye to his friends because he's going to become a death machine and help the Resistance in the final battle, but he'll lose all of his memory. That's kind of my prediction. Sorry to influence you, but...
I've been influenced.
Yeah, but...
Give me that question one more time.
Will C-3PO's memory be wiped? Question number 23. Will there be any flashbacks?
I'm going to win.
Maybe.
Question number 24. Will the Emperor use Force lightning? Question number 25.
It's his thing.
Question number 25. Will Force Skyping return? So this is the thing that happened in Last Jedi when Kylo and Rey were connected. Will that happen again?
Please tell me that's not the actual word for it.
It should be called Force Time instead of FaceTime.
Yeah, Force Time. I think people have said that. I just like Force
Probably.
Skyping. Yeah, but will Force Skyping, Force Time, will that return? Question number 26. We're approaching the end.
Ooh.
Is Darkseid Rey a vision?
Well, yeah, I mean, a vision, like, as in, like, do we believe that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, is she a vision?
Gotcha.
If you believe she's something else, then obviously you would write down no.
Thanks, Teach.
You got it. Question number 27. Now, this is it's not really a tricky one, but will there be any additional heroes or villains that we have not seen before in any promotional material? Will anyone pop up, heroes or villains, that we have no idea will pop up? Like that we're not expecting.
For example, a Qui-Gon or a Jar Jar
Sure, yeah.
or a Watto.
I do. I hope Watto's I hope he's in here. But yeah. Question number 28. Will we go to more than 4 different planets in this movie? More than 4 planets. And these last 2 are kind of funny, but number 29. Will this film be better than The Last Jedi?
That's so subjective.
God, I hope so.
It's not. It is. And question number 30. Will you cry? Do you think you'll cry in this movie? Remember, this is the last...
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay. The last time we're
We
going to...
know what this movie means.
Mr.
Monster.
All right, so there. Those were my 30 questions that I formulated with the help from my lovely girlfriend, Leah. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you, Leo.
I like those questions. I think there's a lot. We could have easily thought of 30 more. There's so many questions that need to be answered or that you could have about this film. So let's go back through them and we'll talk about what we picked and maybe we'll talk about a little bit about why.
Yes, let's.
So question number 1
tell Mike
is,
that he's wrong.
Question number 1 is, will there be any form of time travel in this movie? Mike, what did you pick?
I put no.
Interesting. None whatsoever.
No, I think that's a really tricky thing to introduce in the final film.
JJ had an interview where he literally said, fuck it.
Well,
I'm going to do what I want.
yeah, but he also said Khan wasn't going to be in whatever the heck the second one was.
Into darkness.
Yeah. And he was, so.
I will also say no to this question.
I know they did it in Rebels. They have the whole time aspect.
Yeah, they have that weird, and Rebels
like
fans
that.
are going to get mad, but they had that weird fucking
I've never seen an episode of Rebels. So.
They have that weird place where you could go and it's like you're caught in the middle of space-time.
Yeah, I think that's just way too convoluted to get into.
Right.
And they're not going to introduce, kind of like you said, they're not going to introduce that into the last movie.
No.
Because
that's something Rian Johnson
if
would
they,
do.
yes, if they did, there would be so many more questions. It's like, well, if they could do this, why didn't they go back in time and stop Anakin from doing everything he did in episode 3? Or
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. But also, like,
they could have went back in time and killed Palpatine when he was just a senator.
that's a fair point. I don't know. I feel like it's
the round dish, Mason. Is that what it is? The round dish?
No, it's not the round dish.
Oh, okay.
I have yes.
You have yes.
I have yes.
Of course you do.
And I'll say this. I'll say this is the reason why.
Such a contrarian.
No, it's absolutely insane and it's far-fetched, but I think it might happen. And that's because, well, there's and of course, my interview diving, forgive me, but there was an interview that I think IGN published or whatever. They took a quote from it and were like, JJ said that there are force powers in this movie that some people might find divisive. And so I'm thinking that there's going to be a force power that lets people take control of time, or it could be an Avengers thing where they fucking lose that final battle and then somebody has to do something to get the force energy up high enough so someone sacrifices themselves to get the force. I don't know. And then they turn back time, Doctor Strange style, and
could be
beat the Emperor. It's absolutely insane, but
You're right, and I'm glad you understand that.
And it's any form of time travel, so it can be through the Force or it can be through a time machine.
Because you know what? If I can do time travel, I'm going back in time and stopping Anakin from chopping Mace Windu's arm off, and he's going to cut the Emperor in two right on that window.
Well, the Emperor would find a way to win, or live rather, but unless unless there's some kind of time machine. And if there's a time machine in Star Wars, I might walk out.
Yeah, time travel's tough. I mean, we saw it done
Really well.
with the Avengers, so
We'll see.
yeah.
All right. We'll see what happens.
We'll set that one aside, and we'll come back here on the 19th and tell you that you're wrong.
Probably, but we'll see. I'm standing by my decision.
I'm sure you are.
Question number 2, will the Millennium Falcon be destroyed?
Yes.
No.
I have yes.
Do you?
Yeah. Why do you think not?
Um,
Because it's just such a symbol of Star Wars, or
yeah, that, and I don't know. What would that do story-wise?
There's likely going to be a giant final battle. I think that Millennium Falcon being destroyed could be because it is such a big symbol of Star Wars, a symbol of this series ending, especially the trilogies.
Like a sacrificial.
Yeah, some people have speculated that shot you get with Lando in the final trailer, him and Chewie, they're driving to the sacrifice themselves. Why he would be laughing, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
because Lando is absolutely
he lost his mind with old age.
but
I was in an elevator with Billy D. Williams.
yeah, you told me that.
Yeah,
that was like during a funeral or something, right? Or you
a wedding, so the opposite of a funeral.
Well,
childbirth, but yeah, no. It was my cousin's wedding, and we were in the hotel, and we were getting into an elevator, and
He was.
and my aunt kind of freaked out, and she's not even a Star Wars fan.
Did you freak out?
No, because I could barely put it together in my brain, and then I kind of pieced it together, and I was like, oh my god, yeah,
that was Lando.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, no. I think it will be destroyed. I think one, it's such a hunk of junk. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I know that's been the thing that everyone's called.
It's a charming hunk of junk.
It is charming. I think though, it's as much of a character as any of the human characters are, or any character at all, for that matter, in Star Wars. So I think maybe it sacrifice, whoever's piloting it, whether it be Lando or Poe or Chewie or whoever. I think if Chewie dies, this is a question I don't have on here because I was just trying to cover the most of the main characters. I think if Chewie dies, he's going out in the Falcon. That's the only place for him to go out. And I think if he goes out, he's going to be sacrificing himself, and I think in turn the Falcon will probably get destroyed. When I was thinking of how they could open up Episode 9, back right after I saw Last Jedi, and I was just thinking of ways what could the opening scene be, right? Because I'm a huge fan of just kind of how Episode 5 of The Mandalorian opened, or Chapter 5 rather, where it's just a space battle and you're in it. That's the best part of the episode almost. And it's I love cold opens.
Dude, the opening to 7 is so good. Just the stormtroopers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's so good. I love stuff that throws you right into the action like that. And I thought back then, I was like, oh, it'd be really dope to see you get the crawl. So you have a minute of the crawl. War. Trade route disputes. And then it pans down and you see.
Or does it pan up?
Wait, what's the one movie it pans up in?
The worst one, Episode 2.
Oh, Episode 1. Okay, yeah.
2.
Episode 1. So, no, but and then I had a vision in my head. I had literally had this vision where it would pan down or up, and you would see the Falcon just floating, and it's all disabled and sparking, and and you're like, oh shit, what happened? And then that's kind of how Knights of the Old Republic 2 opens up. So I guess you'd be kind of copying that game's intro, but we don't have to talk about that.
Whatever.
It's not canon anymore.
No.
So I think it's going. I think it's time. I think it's going. This is a good question, I think, because I saw a tweet that said from somebody, they retweeted something Star Wars, and they said, if you can manage to get the original Trinity on screen again, you will win the internet forever.
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you think we're going to see the original Trinity on screen again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we all have yes?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think so.
That's huge. But that because you think how, right? Whether it be in a flashback.
They would make it work.
Or people are saying maybe Force Ghost Han somehow.
No, I think if anything, it'll be either through a flashback or it'll be through a piece of the old Leia footage that they're using for this movie from Force Awakens.
I didn't thought about that. That's actually a good point, because he might have been in those scenes.
Correct.
And we don't, scenes that we obviously hadn't seen before.
No, I think that was very much a...
Because, that's a big complaint of the movies so far, is you never got to see that.
But to be fair, it could go either way. JJ was the one who chose not to put them all together on screen.
It's true.
So either he wants to stick by that for whatever reason, or
God, as far as we know, JJ could have been like, yeah, they're separated now, but wait till you see what they do in number 2. And Ryan Johnson was like, what do you think they're going to do? All right, I got you. I'll do the opposite.
No, I think that there's a good chance that you see them all together.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be, I don't think Han's going to have a Force ghost. Like, it's, as much as I would love to see it, it's...
I mean, that almost raises too many questions.
Yeah.
Like, how did he transcend? Yeah. How did he... Because I think it was even canonically, and I could be totally wrong, but I think it was even Qui-Gon who was the first person, on the first light side user who could do that.
Yeah, I think so.
And then everyone was
that's what they hinted towards anyway. And
yeah.
Even because in Clone Wars, when Yoda gets banished to Dagobah after the events of Episode 3, he has a moment on Dagobah with Qui-Gon's spirit. And even in that moment, he's trying to learn from Qui-Gon and be like, how are you talking to me through the Force? And even then, Qui-Gon can't take physical form yet, or he can't be a...
Qui-Gon's so cool.
He can't take a body form.
Yeah, in the episode, he's just like a wispy thing floating around. So
he hasn't mastered it yet, but he's
learning and getting there.
Thank God he wasn't in the worst Star Wars episode.
Yeah, I mean, if he had been in episode... Oh, he was in episode 1.
Oh, right.
Shit. Oh, well.
Next question.
Is Rey actually a nobody?
What number was this?
This was 4.
I put yes.
I put no, just because I think that there's too many options of who she could be for JJ to ignore it entirely.
But why can't she just be someone else?
She could be. I just don't think she is.
She doesn't have to be a Skywalker or a Kenobi or a...
No, I have no. She's not just nobody. I think honestly she's going to be someone who was conceived from the Force, similar to how Anakin was.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's my biggest.
It could be that, or there's been a rumor floating around, and it's picking up more steam recently, at least that I've seen, that she is a descendant of Palpatine. And the reason I think that there's a possibility of that, or as conceived through the Force like Anakin was, what if Palpatine knew he was going to die at the end of Episode 6 on the Death Star, and Rey was brought into existence either as a direct descendant or through the Force because he knew that he would be able to possess her down the road and use her as a new body.
Well, that kind of feeds into the dark side of Rey question, but we'll get to that in a second.
Certainly will.
No, I think the way that they have to spin it, not to get too sidetracked, but I think that the way that you said she is just a nobody.
I would like that, yes.
Just because you don't like this whole, like, everybody has to be related to somebody and they have to be in the lineage.
To be,
yeah.
Which is fair, but I don't know.
Well, here, I don't want her to be a Skywalker.
Yeah, I'm cool with, like, Born of the Force, stuff like that. I don't want, like, Born of someone.
Okay.
Like,
oh, you're actually Rey Jin, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, like, I don't...
So you just don't want her to be a descendant of somebody of a major...
I don't want her to be a blood
relative. You're
relative.
okay with, like, a Force...
That, I think, is very cool, yeah. That's something that could be cool. It was kind of glossed over, almost, in Episode 1. Yeah. So if you could go back
if it had been better.
Like, no, this is a thing that, like, can happen. It's been done once with Anakin, and now it's been done again, maybe... perfected again.
Anakin was done on accident.
Here's what would be crazy, and I just got goosebumps because I'm a fucking nerd, but imagine if Rey is and was conceived from the Force similar to Anakin, but we learn the machinations of how it happened with her, and then in turn we learn how Anakin became. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Palpatine's like, you know.
To where they actually explain it, that would be cool.
Yeah, not in so many words. You know, I don't want this whole fucking scene where he's like, technically I influenced the midichlorians to make sure that, but, you know,
Everyone loves those.
A little more context to it.
Yeah, because like, be like your parents are nobody, you're not from a lineage, but I conceived you from the Force.
Yeah.
Like this.
Which then technically Kylo is not lying.
Similar to how I made Anakin.
Yeah.
Not that dialogue, obviously.
Yeah.
But something to that effect. I think that would be mind-blowing.
If George Lucas was writing this film, that would be the dialogue.
Like, I am sad and I'm going to tell you why. I will not show you, I will tell you everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think she's related to any big lineage. I don't want that. I don't want her to be Broom Kid. Like just some random kid that, hey, I know how to
move brooms.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even going back, and this has been an argument that's been going on for 4 years at this point, but it's the thing of like, you know, wow, she was so good in that lightsaber fight, and she really was able to tune into the Force very quickly. Yeah. Yes, Kylo was hurt. Yes, she was battling an inexperienced, injured, you know, Darth Vader fanboy, but, you know...
it's still he has had more training than she did, so
yeah. But also though, she's that movie, you know, not to get sidetracked, but that movie sets up so many things with her being incredibly good with melee weapons.
Yep.
So I don't think it's that far out of the picture to be like, oh, she can handle herself with a single hilt weapon as opposed to a staff or whatever. But I think she's going to be somebody special. I think she needs to be somebody special. But I agree with Mike in a sense of like, she's not a lineage we know.
Yeah.
Question number 5. Will Kylo Ren die?
I feel like that's the only way to redeem him.
Yes.
So we're both on the redemption train.
Agreed with the redemption.
All right, cool. That answers the question later. You think there's no plausible way that he can somehow live? Because I also have... I think that he will die.
I think if he were to stay alive, he can't turn good and then just live happily ever after.
No, if he's going to stay alive, the movie would have to end to where, I mean, the First Order defeated the Resistance.
Yeah. Like
Kylo Ren is the leader of the First Order wins.
Yeah. But we don't know how that's going to transform throughout the movie either. Like, I think a lot of people are saying that he's searching for Sith relics, either to try and boost his own power level. It's over 9,000, or, you know,
same thing.
You know, try to boost his own power level or try to channel the dark side in a different way to learn new powers or whatever. Who knows what he's doing? Yeah. And that's the biggest question going into this movie. Is like, what the fuck's going on? What's the story? We have no idea. And I think it's a good thing.
That's exciting, yeah.
And I have, you know, I've got my ear to the ground. I'm watching every TV spot. I'm
trying not to as many times as you tagged me in.
And you keep posting them. Hey, look at this TV spot. Look at this interview.
I'm not sharing TV spots with you guys. I'm trying to share stuff that I think that you can get something out of without being potentially spoiled to what you don't want to see. But, being someone who has his ear to the ground very closely, I still have no clue. I've seen a little bit more footage than you guys, but that, I'm like maybe a minute more of footage, if that. So, yeah, I think he's going to die. I think everyone's saying Ben-demption, and I hate that.
That's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
I don't like that either.
Okay, the internet's great.
Not everything has to have a coined term.
No, not everything does, but I think he is, whether he sacrifices himself at the last minute, and it's very reminiscent of what Vader did in 6, to save Luke, or whether it's kind of a long-running thing where he teams up with Rey somewhere. We'll get to that in a second. I don't know, but I think there's no way around it. Kylo Ren's a dead man. Will Rey die?
I put no.
I put yes.
What did you put, Mace?
I put no too, but that's only because I feel like Kylo and Rey can't both die.
Yeah.
So, but
everyone dies, and that's how they end it.
I think, hey, subverting expectations. I think it's one or the other. Yeah. I don't think Kylo and Rey both survive. I think I can very, very, very well see an ending where Rey sacrifices herself in some incredibly heroic way, defeats the Emperor, maybe after Kylo's already fallen. That'd be ballsy, but I can see her going out that way. I can see her going out in a blaze of glory, you know,
sure,
sacrificing herself in the most heroic way to save everybody else. I can see it happening.
Or going back to the theory about the Emperor using her and knowing of her existence and planning to use her as his new body. What if Darkseid Rey is a real thing? What if Kylo begins his redemption and kills Darkseid Rey after he understands that Rey is now gone and that it's the Emperor?
All right, Taylor. Well, you stumped both of us, I guess. No, because here's the thing, right? We're assuming in these trailers, and I'm sure some of the shots are from the third act and the final moments.
Yeah.
But I can almost guarantee that half the footage we're seeing is at least from the first or early second act.
Yeah.
I think the Death Star stuff.
They're not going to load up the trailers with stuff at the end.
Well,
could, but
some of the big battle shots,
the Palpatine shot.
yeah, some of the big battle shots, the Palpatine shot could very well be from the end.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The idea that maybe Rey does get turned, I don't know.
It's hard to. It's obviously it's a Star Wars story, but it's a Disney movie. So as much as we would love to see like, wow, this is really something different, and it's a PG
Disney probably
PG-13?
isn't PG-13 for sure.
So it's a Disney movie where like Rey has been this little resemblance of hope, and she's been the positive, and she's the light, and to get all that taken.
I would love to see J.J. Abrams kind of stick it to Disney. It's like, we're doing this, we're taking a completely different direction.
He did have an interview where he said, fuck it.
He sure did.
But what does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
It's still...
It's one word that we're blowing up for.
If that's how it goes, and Kylo Ren sacrifices himself to kill Rey, I think it'll be a lot like the Vader scene with Luke, or in like, Vader killed the Emperor, but Rey, if she's possessed, will do something to Kylo, mortally wound him to where he also dies.
Yeah. I feel like the Emperor was always bad.
Yes.
Rey has been this... She's kind of... The audience is watching these films through Rey, so it's like, that'd be a tough turn. It's possible.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It could go either way. But
Yeah.
I think if she does die, I could see her dying, but ultimately I put down no because I do think she will survive. Next question. Will Poe die? I have no.
I also have no.
I have no. I don't think he's important enough to...
Here's the thing, though.
I think he's important. I think he's going to end up being... If the Resistance wins, he will end up taking like a role as like the leader of their military or something to that effect.
I don't see him dying, but he's in this movie a lot, and he has something to do. According to everything I've researched and seen, like, it's an adventure movie between these three characters.
Yeah.
It's the trinity of them going after this thing, whatever it is. And they're together in this movie a lot. And this, and it sucks it's the third film in the trilogy and the end of the Skywalker saga. But this could be the movie where I'm like, Poe's fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're finally giving us Leia, Luke, and Han. Because I think that was kind of the game plan, and then...
But they had no narrative through line, and they gave it to a bunch of random people, including an indie filmmaker who had only made 4 movies prior, and then things fell apart.
Right. Precisely.
Thank you, Mason.
You got it. I think, though, if we do like him throughout the film, it could add some gravitas to see him go.
Yeah.
And I think he's expendable enough
Yeah.
that he could go. I mean, and I'm going to say the same. The next one's Finn. I have him as not dying, but I think the same thing applies.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I don't think any of these minor characters are going to die because... Again, it's like, well, what service, how does that service the story?
Yeah.
And how much weight does that actually carry? So it could happen, but do you guys have Finn dying or survive?
Yes, I have Finn dying.
You have Finn dying. How do you think he's going to die?
I think there's 2 ways he goes out. He either goes out on the Millennium Falcon or something to that effect in a battle, making some sacrificial effort, or he gets killed by Rey / the Emperor, or maybe earlier by Kylo.
Yeah, I feel like they're definitely...
Kylo Ren has a deep hatred for Finn.
Yeah, they don't get along.
Yeah, they don't.
But
Finn stood up to him a bit in the forest.
He did.
Finn should have died
and he should have.
The Last Jedi.
Lightsaber to the spine. Oh yes, well yeah.
When he was about to sacrifice himself.
Yes, he should have. He should have.
But he also probably should have died at the end of Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to give him his character some purpose there.
Regardless, I think that there's a deep hatred enough from Kylo Ren. I think that there are too many ways, like there are too many outs for Finn's character. I think there's a good chance that he dies.
If we want to keep Kylo the bad guy, then I think Kylo killing Finn would be like the emotional, like,
and
all
that
right.
would be an emotional kick for Rey.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
They're very close.
Yeah.
Remember, too, there's the scene that he's in for a split second where he's clearly on the Death Star ruins where Kylo and Rey are lightsaber battling, and he goes, Rey!
Yeah.
And he does that thing. Hey, man,
Like
he's
an
putting himself in harm's way.
He sure is.
He could get cut down.
That's just true.
He could get cut down. He doesn't stand a chance against either of them.
Well, no, especially not now.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This is a good one. Question number 9. Will Leia die?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
I have no.
really?
Yeah. Go. Tell me why, guys.
I think she deserves. I mean, obviously, Carrie Fisher's no longer with us, so they're using footage. Although, to be fair, what footage could they possibly have? So now I'm kind of thinking about it now. I think that's kind of that weird valley of like, well, the real actor's dead, so is it weird killing the character too kind of situation?
No, I think that there's... It's so hard to tell because maybe some footage somewhere that they had Carrie Fisher not making it this far.
See, with a lot of old actors, they actually do take that precaution and like film that stuff, and they may have it. They may have. They may have shot it.
I think there's a real possibility that just because they would want to do like the respect to her on screen. I mean, like they would want it. They wouldn't want it to be something to where, okay, Leia lives through the entire movie, and then like, what does she do?
Was Rogue One dedicated to Carrie Fisher? Which Star Wars movie was like dedicated?
I don't know. It might have been that one.
Because Rogue One was around when she died 2016, I believe.
I want to say yes because Rogue One came out after The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to say I think that she's not dying because Carrie Fisher has passed and because they don't have the footage. And I think having Leia live on is kind of a perfect, respectful, kind of beautiful way to make sure that Carrie lives on forever.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think that one, they don't have the footage. Two,
I think the footage is there.
yeah, I could see where it could be.
Anything could be done with body double and face replacement.
And they've already used body doubles in the scenes where people are acting with her, and it's just the back of her head, and you have somebody else dressed up as her, and boom, bam, that's how you get the scene done. But her dying, that can't happen off screen. You have to see that.
Yes.
And it would have to be a moment.
In The Last Jedi.
Can't put it in the crawl.
When she gets blown out of the ship, I was like,
that should have been it.
I was like, whoa.
I'm sorry, but that should have been
Everyone's saying that fuck Admiral Holdo. Leia should have pulled that hyperspace maneuver, and that's how she goes out.
Also that.
So yeah, I mean, she definitely... I'm on the fence. Yeah. It can go either way.
I think they're gonna. I hear you guys, and I could totally see her dying, but I think she's gonna live on just because Carrie is gone, and because I guess would be one, they don't have the footage, and I think it would be a great, beautiful way to have her spirit live on.
Yeah,
or something to that effect. Question number 10. So those are all the major death questions. We got that out of the way. Question number 10. Will we see or hear the Emperor in the first 20 minutes of this film?
Yes.
I put yes.
I put no.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you guys think so? Well, I know why we should personally.
Yeah.
But I don't think the movie's going to do it because I think they're doing the one thing. I think they're going to do the one thing that I'm so afraid they're going to do is they're going to sideline him until the third act. I hope to God they don't.
I disagree. I think that they're going to use him as like something that's always present through like the entire movie.
That's what it has to be. We don't have a big bad. We have to set him up. We have 2 hours and 14 minutes to do it. There's a huge story to tell.
This movie has to cover a lot.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be setting up each individual story arc very quickly and all at the same time. Probably within the first 20 minutes. A
lot of intercutting between plot lines.
Yes. I think that I think we'll see it.
At very least, a tease,
because
dare I say, dream sequence, some sort of like...
They can't wait halfway through the movie to introduce him because you won't be able to explain it enough to where it makes sense in an hour and 7 minutes.
I totally agree. I'm sure like JJ and them also knew that. But I can see a reality where everybody talks about him,
Well, I don't like your reality.
And well, everybody's like, oh, Palpatine's back, or the Emperor's back. Oh, we got to go do this. Oh, I'm hearing rumblings. Oh, and then we don't.
You don't get an actual.
We don't get him until the last act, or the big battle, or this, or. I did have see or hear as part of the question, so if he's like either talking to Kylo through the Force or...
And that's why I said
if it
yes.
was just see, I would say no.
Yeah.
Here, I think it's going to be here.
Here's the thing, though. You have to be able to explain how and why he's back, what he's been doing this whole time.
I'm just saying he will be introduced within the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. I put no because I don't have any faith.
Yeah. Well, I really hope you're
I
wrong.
think one really well executed scene is all you need. For a lot of these, like, we feel like so much needs to be done, and it does, but...
I mean, that's good screenwriting, is explaining a lot in a little amount of time, and without it feeling heavy-handed.
Yeah, a few really well-placed exposition-heavy dialogue scenes.
They have the crawl.
Yeah.
They have 3 paragraphs to set up whatever they want, so they don't have to waste screen time on it. You know, no other franchise has that luxury. Yeah. And I don't know. But but I put no just because I'm mean. I think there's a potential that he might get, because I don't want to have a moment in this theater. God, if I have a moment when we're watching this where I have a watch check moment and I'm like, we only got 33 minutes left. This thing better win me over.
No, I'm taking my watch off.
Yeah, because I'm like, that happened with Midsummer. Like, that's the last movie I can think of where I had that watch check moment where I'm like, I've been on this fucking weird-ass fucking ride the whole time, and I know for a fact we got 15 minutes left. This better be the nuclear bomb of twists, or I hate this movie. And I hated that movie.
I was going to say, did you hate the movie?
Yeah. The whole movie gets worse after the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes are pretty immaculate.
Yeah, the opening's really good.
Question number 11. Will Snoke be mentioned?
I put yes.
Yes, but I don't think it's going to be in any significant...
No, there will be a throwaway line. And
yes.
I put yes as well.
Yeah, that'll be a...
I think he'll be like,
just as I was able to possess Snoke. And
I think it's going to be the Emperor as part of the explanation. He's going to be explaining to Kylo like how he was able to do all this.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad that that's what they're doing in the film then.
Yeah. There's no other option.
There's no other option.
It is.
Number 12.
No, we are the actual writers
Yes.
of this movie. So, hoorah.
Do you guys know who else is writing it besides J.J. Abrams?
Yeah. Me.
Oh, yeah, you said it was, what's his name? The dude that wrote Batman v Superman and Justice League. I don't know his name, but...
Chris Terrio.
Yeah, right.
But, again, from all the things I've watched, because I love watching body language from these actors and from the cast and such, and the crew, I think that they got like super teary-eyed when JJ was talking about how much he respects Chris and how grateful he was to have Chris along for the journey.
Man, you won't be laughing when they release the Snyder Cut.
But he also...
Chris Terrio's true vision.
He also wrote Argo.
Okay.
So he's an Academy Award-winning screenwriter.
I mean, things happen.
And it's a comic book movie as opposed to, you know...
Well, this is pretty comic booky too.
Yeah. Question number 12. Will Luke Skywalker be in the movie in any physical form, not just a Force ghost?
Yes.
I put yes.
Whoa. I put no.
Really?
Yeah. Why do you guys think he's going to be back in the flesh?
It'll be through a flashback going back to when the Trinity is on screen.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yes. Yeah. And if you put yes for time travel, I bet your ass that Luke Skywalker will be in the flesh when they go back in time.
That's what well, that's the thing. It's like, shit, if we can go back in time, let's bring back the ultimate good power in the universe, which I guess would be Luke Skywalker.
Does that mean Han comes back too?
Ooh.
There's no way. If Harrison Ford was in this movie and they kept they kept that shit under wraps,
you don't know.
That's the biggest thing in history.
You don't know.
So we all think that Luke's going to be back in the flesh.
Yeah. You said no.
You said no.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You guys both think?
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't think it's happening.
Maybe just his hand. I don't know. Who knows?
Does that count?
What?
If it's just his hand?
In the flesh.
I mean, that is flesh.
I
you don't see a face attached to the arm or anything.
If there's a saber in it, you know whose hand it is.
Yeah, I did say no. Thank you for reminding me of my own answers. I got caught up in the hype of the moment. I think there's too much to explain for him to be able to come back in the flesh. I think it's a Force ghost. I even think Mark Hamill in an interview straight up said it was a Force ghost, not to have, because I don't know. But I don't like how.
It's not confirmed that he's dead in the first place.
Right.
He just happened
we
to disappear.
don't. Yeah, exactly. He disappeared, similar to how Obi-Wan disappeared when he was struck down.
A lot of people are
And
saying
Yoda disappeared in his bed.
right.
That scene's like the best scene in all of
Yeah,
Star
it's
Wars.
really good.
That and the throne room in that movie. You're unwise to lower your defenses. All right. Where am I at? Question number 13. Will we see multiple Force Ghost cameos?
Yes.
Yes.
I also have yes.
Only because I want
you will see
Qui-Gon.
Yoda. You're not going to see Qui-Gon.
I want to see Qui-Gon.
You'll see Yoda. You will see Luke. You might get Anakin.
Might.
You
If
might
you're going to see one Force Ghost, I feel like it's got to be him for a moment.
It's so weird.
again.
How does it work? Who's important?
Yeah.
We
You
don't-
might
It's so.
The movie is called...
might get Anakin. God, I would love to see Obi-Wan.
That's what I'm saying. You get an old prosthetic up,
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
And that would lead right into the Obi-Wan series.
In a way, yeah.
Kenobi.
I think we're going to
I
see.
think we can all agree on that. Yes.
I think there's going to, in my head of what this ending could be, right? I have all these amalgamations of what I think it could be. The geekiest one is some kind of Avengers Assemble moment where
Yeah.
Rey needs to attack the Emperor or the legions of the dark side with the Emperor helming them.
Yeah.
And we get all of these Force ghosts charging
Yeah,
the
it'll
Emperor.
look like episode
Mine
2, and it'll
is-
be garbage.
Your mind is fascinating.
It looks cool in my head. That's not going to happen, but it looks cool in my head. Yeah, we're going to get multiple Force Ghost cameos. We have to.
I think so.
Me too. Number 14. Did the Emperor survive physically? Did his body survive what happened to him in episode 6?
I put no.
I also put no.
What number is that?
I don't know. You have the paper.
14. I put no as well, I guess.
It was a huge explosion.
A giant explosion when he fell down the hole. Not to mention the Death Star blew up.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that.
I understand that is very short-sighted. However,
But if you go back to it was all part of the plan, right? He knew that was going to happen.
and I'm sure he did, but that doesn't mean he had to physically survive, which is why he needs to possess Rey.
But here's the thing: is if you're talking about because
Darkseid Rey.
if you look at Darth Maul, right? Darth Maul willed himself to live through the dark side of the Force.
Darth Maul was cut in half,
Not
exploded into
Yeah, no,
oblivion.
I get it. But if there's any flashbacks in this movie, I think it's to that moment.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And I think it's to the moment where we see him falling down the shaft, very similar to Two Towers when Gandalf is falling down the thing, and we
Yeah.
get kind of a flashback on him
Two Towers, yes.
on him falling down.
One of my favorite
Right.
of the three.
The worst of the three, but it would be your favorite. No, but I think if we get a flashback, it's to that moment, and it's to see how he survived. I can see it in my head.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but we also have to explore how he lived on through the dark side of the Force,
Yeah.
which,
Exposition.
according to George Lucas, only people who can do that are light side Force users.
Well, that's what he thought. It's not his anymore.
God, is it not? All right.
Keep in mind, I'm going to sidetrack here, going back to a line that he tells Anakin in episode 3, saying that if someone wants to achieve power, you have to study all aspects of the Force.
Not
that is
just the dogmatic narrow view of the Jedi.
yes, but that is not to say that he didn't know the light side Force as well.
Yep.
That's a very good point, Taylor. I'm glad we have you here. But I
Deep
think
cutting these lines.
these are good deep cuts. God, I was going to make a point, but I forgot it. Let's see. Number 15, will Kylo Ren be redeemed?
I put yes.
I think so.
I also put yes.
In death.
Redeemed in death.
Yes.
Just like Vader, his grandfather.
Here's the thing. I hope it's early, though. Like, I hope it's beginning of the third act. Because here's the thing. We see Rey in all these TV spots, I'm going to tell you, we see them fighting like 86
Yeah.
times.
There's like 4
This could
different
be a very
locations,
long
right?
lightsaber battle.
There's, yeah.
Twice as long as
They're
episode
they're
3.
on a ship flying to a new planet.
Yep. Yeah. In hyperspace.
In hyperspace. Dude, but they The shot though where she's jumping out of the hangar into the Millennium Falcon,
Very
he's
cool
just
shot.
chilling
Yeah.
behind her. He doesn't seem like he's trying to. It's almost like, hey, I'm going to go do this real quick. Chill out. And
Why
he's
you
like,
always gotta do the
I don't know.
accent?
It's a bad accent. And he's like, oh, I'll hang out. And yeah, they don't look adversarial there, but every other shot, she's either attacking him or something. I don't know.
Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
In Force Awakens, Kylo Ren says, "I will finish what you started."
He did say
Hear
that.
me out.
I'm hearing you.
Darth Vader tried, apparently, to kill the Emperor. He's going to finish what Vader started.
Yeah, but no one knows that but Luke. Right?
Wait, I think you're right.
And that's not to say Luke didn't tell anybody.
Wait. Okay, so let's break this down. So you're saying that you think Kylo knows that, but if Kylo knew that Vader turned good, would he still worship him to be the ultimate bad guy? If he knew in the end he just became a pussy again, like for lack of a better way of expression.
I think Kylo's visions were twisted by Snoke and then by the extension of the Emperor.
Let me switch gears. The original question about the Emperor physically surviving was, did he survive through Force possession? Do you think the Emperor survives through possessing some kind of helmet or some kind of dark side item? Or do you think his essence, or like the ruins of the Death Star, do you think he haunts the ruins of the Death Star and that's like where his spirit is?
He could. I think that's very possible.
Yeah, it's tough because we don't see the Emperor in any of the marketing. No. We see his hood.
He's not even doing any cast interviews, which to me, it's like, no, don't bring Ian. He cannot spill the beans on anything in any way he's involved.
No, that's true.
Or he's in the last 10 minutes only, and there's no point. Just like how Mark's not on tour with them in the press junkets right now.
Listen, I'm telling you, finish what you started. It's going to kill the Emperor.
I think that's a very clever way that they could somehow add a layer to that line.
Tie it all together.
I don't know if that's what ties it all together, but that's what ties a thread all together.
A little more convoluted than it needs to be, but hey.
I think it ties a thread together.
Yep.
Or a comparison or a parallel.
There's a lot of threads
that could be made. Let's see here. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. Number 16. Will there be a romance subplot?
Oh. Put yes.
Yes, there will be. No, I am not happy about it.
Yeah.
I put yes as well. I think it's going to be better than anything we've seen before in Star Wars.
That is not a high bar to meet.
And who is that?
I know. It's not going to be between one of the secondary kind of ancillary characters. I think it's going to be that tension between Rey and Kylo, maybe.
You think so?
I don't know if I'm shipping Reylo yet, but I think.
I hope not.
You don't think that you don't want them to get together in any shape or form?
No.
They wanted to bang each other in that last movie, though.
No.
Sure.
Dude, at the end there, by the time Luke blows down the hut and he's like, no.
No, they absolutely did. I am agreeing with you, but I don't want it to happen.
I think there's going to be a romance going on. JJ's confirmed there's a kiss in the movie.
Well, we have Rose and Finn still.
We do.
We left them on a romantic.
I don't think they're going to be picked
Rose
up again.
kind of just forced her way onto Finn.
Yeah. While all of her friends died in the background. I don't think that they're going to pick that up. I think that there's going to be some. Do you guys remember Star Trek Beyond, where they kind of just dropped the O'Hara?
This is Star Wars.
Zoe Saldana relationship with Spock.
Is Star Wars and not Star
Anyway, they just dropped the relationship at the beginning of the movie, and I think they could do that here.
No, it's possible.
I don't know. I think there will be a romance subplot. God, I hope it's. I was a little bit hyperbolic.
Moving on, I am not happy about this question.
I know. Hold on. I know I was a little hyperbolic when I said that it's going to be the best one. I think if they do it, it'll be executed the best.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
Again.
Han and Leia. No, it won't.
All right. That's why I'm like, Han and Leia, what are you talking about?
I'm thinking of Anakin and Padme, and then Finn and Rose.
There was the original trilogy.
It seems so long ago. Okay. Will the line, I have a bad feeling about this, be said?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That was just a silly one I wanted to throw in there to hit the quota. Number 18, will the Leia scenes feel natural?
How about yes?
I think so.
I think they will too. I think that just with what they can do with technology, and he wrote a lot of the movie around those scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, they won't feel clunky at all.
Not to mention the footage, or at least I don't know if it is all. I think some of it, correct me if I'm wrong, some of it is from Last Jedi.
No, it's not. It is all from The Force Awakens.
Okay, so even better, J.J. Abrams wrote that movie.
Even better, it's a better movie. And
it is, but he can fit that footage in because he knew the context around it already.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be well done.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I mean, to be fair and just play devil's advocate, they were scenes that were cut.
Yeah, but again,
Scenes get cut for different reasons.
Yeah, not all just because they're bad.
I'm tired of your negativity.
I was playing devil's advocate. I agree with you guys.
I'm well
Get
aware.
the devil out of here.
The devil made me do it. Question number 19. Will Anakin Skywalker be in this movie in any shape or form?
Yes.
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 What form? We don't know.
Not sure.
Some people are saying that they think that it's just going to be a thing similar to Return of the Jedi, where they're all just chilling
Yeah.
and there's a force. And I'm like, he couldn't do that good when he was younger. He was just like, and I'm like, look over and like pretend you're next to these people. I don't know, but yeah, he'll be in the movie. I think that I think this goes into one more question I have. I know we're running a bit long, but whatever. The Rise of Skywalker. What do you think the title is? Do you think it's a rise of Anakin, or do you think it's a redemption of Ben because he's the last surviving Skywalker?
I would say it's more going to be a redemption of Ben than a return of Anakin.
Yeah.
That's just my point.
I agree. I don't know though. I mean, who knows the twist or turn it could go, but yeah, I agree. Let's see. Number 20, will Kylo Ren and Rey team up? I have no.
I have yes.
I have yes, but I don't know.
I might be contradicting myself with what I've said earlier, but I have no, because after seeing all those TV spots and seeing how they're continually adversarial.
Yeah.
I think it just takes one moment, though. I think the end of this will be very much the end of 6.
It would be very Disney-ish for them to team up, but I hope they don't. Like,
I don't think it's gonna be a 2 versus 1 battle.
no.
I think it's gonna be one final moment when Palpatine is least expecting it, and Kylo finally sees it and takes him out.
What, when Snoke was least expecting it and Kylo cut him in half?
Precisely.
Okay.
Only this will be a better version of that.
I mean, that was a cool scene, though.
Yeah.
Probably the best scene in the movie, if we're being honest.
He has that moment in these trailers where I don't know. He just has so many moments where he's kind of walking with his saber down. I mean, he's obviously on a mission. He's on the mission the whole movie, but he looks like his intent. He's driven to like take something out.
Yeah.
And that's just his character, right?
Yes,
but like,
he's very angry and very
Angsty.
very focused.
very angsty and focused. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I don't think they will. I think I want to see it. But, you know, again, The Last Jedi would have been dope to see where that thread went if they kind of just whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think they will. And if they do, it will be a very last second thing.
Yeah, I think it will be literally
Agreed.
a minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, question number 21. Is Finn force sensitive?
No.
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 Okay, cool.
Sick. All right,
He's a
question number...
He's just a person.
Yeah. There was speculation early on that he was
Shove your speculation. No.
because he says stuff in the trailer
I don't care.
that says like the Force brought us together. I will admit though, man, I still get chills when I watch Force Awakens and Rey's kind of unconscious and he's like, Kylo yells traitor and he has to get up, and I was like, yeah, fucking
No, it's cool, but that's cool because it's this dude
clearly an
who,
underdog.
who is just like a guy.
Yeah,
is saying
he just happened to pick up a lightsaber.
Yeah, he's going, all right, well, I have to step up because there's really no other option.
That's such a cool moment. That's like the ultimate moment of like
And he
bravery.
gets his
Yeah.
ass kicked.
He does, but he stands up to him though, and he stands up to a very injured Kylo, but
and still gets his ass kicked.
yeah, eventually he does hit him like in the shoulder. And we get that incredible moment where he utilizes his cross guard against his shoulder. That should have been a question. Will his cross guard play any other role? 22. Will C-3PO's memory be wiped?
I put no.
I put no.
Wow, God. Yes. I think that's how he goes. I don't think he gets destroyed or dies. I think the thing I said earlier is what happens. I think because he's been around so long and he hasn't, I might be totally wrong, and comics and novels and all that, but I don't think he has had a proper memory wipe since Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So I think that he's either an incredible tactician or they're going to rewire him to be this, because his eyes glow red, for Christ's sakes. So I think
they do.
but I think in that moment,
They're just brake lights.
yeah, in that moment, I think that in order for him to become this incredible warlike war machine tactician that's going to help the Resistance win in the last final mega battle, I think he's going to have to lose his memory. Or
I feel like that's, again, as much as I hate to say it, I feel like that's too dark. Like
Really?
C-3PO, this character that we love, this fun, he's always the comedic relief. He's always, to watch him turn into a war machine and be like this like big bad, like wiping people out.
C-3PO is also...
I don't mean like physically shooting people. I mean like manning, like being an AI
Oh, okay.
that can like sit back and
I'm
plan.
thinking he will become a part of either the Falcon or another ship.
C-3PO is also like... The reason I'm going to say no to this is he's always been like very timid and very nervous.
I know that's why it's like,
even before his memory wipe in Revenge of the Sith.
so how cool would it be for him to be the exact opposite
Yeah,
and just kick ass for a little bit?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think he's I don't know. And the trailer could be total misdirection just to tug on people's heartstrings. You never really know.
We'll see.
We'll see in how many days?
a few.
A few days. Wait, we're 11 days.
Yeah, 11 days.
The number keeps getting smaller. It's weird how that works. I literally had that.
Soon it's almost going to be one digit.
I literally had a thought the other night. I was laying in bed and I was like, all right, I got to really make sure I don't die.
I really need to watch how I drive.
For the
next few
I was like,
days.
I need to put my phone down a bit more and just concentrate.
I need to protect myself.
All right.
You're gonna choke on popcorn during the trailers.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And that's it.
Yeah, the opening crawl. It's gonna be like, man. I'm question number 23: will there be any flashbacks?
Yes.
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 I'm glad
Good talk.
I'm glad you're
Like I said,
devoted to your answers.
that is a good way to see the original Trinity on screen again. Han, Luke, and Leia. I think maybe a flashback to when maybe post 6. They have incredible de-aging technology. J.J. Abrams has gone on record to say that this is some of the best work he's ever seen ILM do. Of course, he's going to say that, but
I thoroughly enjoyed the flashbacks, flash forwards, whatever you want to call them, the Force flashbacks in 7.
Mm-hmm.
I would love if there was some way.
It didn't have to happen 16 times, but to get the right story. But
yeah, but I would love to somehow get more of that feel.
Sure.
So I think that's how that will be utilized.
Yeah, there's like a small subsect of people out there like flashbacks don't belong in Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
why.
I'm like,
just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it doesn't belong.
It can't be done either. Yeah. I mean, that was one of the few cool things The Last Jedi did, in my opinion, is kind of broke the mold in that way of storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the Emperor falling down the shaft would be a cool flashback. I doubt we'll get that. I think he'll be explained. The way he survives will be explained. Maybe even as early as the crawl, with some very choice, very finite, specific writing that doesn't feel too ham-fisted. I don't know. But I do think there will be a flashback. Number 24, will the Emperor use Force Lightning?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You've seen all the trailers, too. Just when you see the Star Destroyer come up from underground or wherever, there's lightning everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what it's going to be. He's going to somehow be able to control the fucking weather. Or
He is Thor or
And then-
Storm.
Exactly. And instead of it coming from his hands, it's going to be coming from the skies.
I am the weather.
Well-
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and obviously, right. It would be dope to see him actually like straight up start projectiling it from his hands, though.
Yeah.
Will Force Skyping or Force Time return?
I put yes.
I have no.
That's a shame. Because that was the best part of
Oh, 100%.
8, in my opinion.
I put yes, but I'm not entirely sure. Because Snoke was the one who did that.
Yeah, that's true.
not Kylo or Rey.
I had that thought, but I also
valid.
think that he could have been bullshitting them. And well, here's the thing
I don't
too.
think Kylo has a reason to reach out to her anymore.
They're also going to be so close this whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, "Hey, what's up?"
They're going to be fighting the whole time.
Yeah, and they're really going to just like want to be like, "Where's my phone?" I can't even make the joke, but
Yeah.
they're going to be like, you know,
Yeah.
when they're right next to each
Yeah,
other.
I think that
That's
there's
fair.
a chance, but I also think that there's, I mean, it wasn't them doing it, and
That-
going back to what you said, there's no reason for them
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. It was such a cool thing that he was.
It was a neat idea, but
It was I who bridged your minds.
just in like a different way. It's practically the Emperor. Snoke was the Emperor.
We're going to find out.
We're gonna find out or not. Question number 26: Is Darkseid Rey a vision?
no.
Yes.
Yes, it's a vision, Taylor. Why do you think it's not a vision? Please explain.
Going back to what I said about her being possessed by the Emperor,
It's been so long. Please refresh my memory.
she either as a descendant of him or created through the Force, the Emperor is going to possess her and use her as his new body.
What? Okay, and you think you're gonna be able to explain that to Joe Schmo from Alabama, who's seen one Star Wars movie?
I'm not super concerned about Joe Schmo.
Well,
But
if
they-
she has a red lightsaber, then sure. Black cloak, red lightsaber.
No.
Joe
She
Schmo goes, okay, well,
she
she's
has
bad
a
now.
switchblade lightsaber, and it's freaking.
No, I think that they'll understand that she's bad, but it's like, how do you explain the Emperor's possessing her?
Couple good lines.
Couple good lines.
Yeah.
The crawl.
Again, I'm not on that side, but
I can't wait to say that I got.
Here's
that
the thing. Here's the thing, though. You might very well be right. Anyone think she's a clone?
Maybe, but a clone of who?
Herself?
You have to have You have to have a source. Oh, like somebody cloned Rey. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like somebody made like Rey is a clone of somebody.
No.
Okay, and there was like an Execute Order 66 moment.
No, there's not like a Master Ray out there
Okay.
somewhere who's like the master
Okay,
copy.
I was gonna say that that's a little.
No,
I'm gonna talk about how to explain something.
I also yeah. They don't have time to explain how cloning works in the Star Wars universe. I don't think she's a clone. I think it's a vision. I don't know any other possibility.
Yeah.
But that breaks my heart because we've seen that so
No, wait a minute.
many times.
Wait a minute. If it is a clone of Rey, do I get this right if I say yes, or that it's not a vision?
No, is Darkseid Rey a vision? You would have answered no if you thought she was a clone.
Okay, I did answer no.
all right. Well,
Okay, so I can get it as a clone or the real Rey.
Hey.
Sweet,
As long as Rey's not a vision and you have the answer correct, then you win.
fantastic.
You win that point.
Great.
Yeah. Will there be any, question number 27, will there be any additional heroes or villains that we've not yet seen before?
I don't think so. No.
And maybe you asked, do you mean Qui-Gon? But maybe not even. Like, I'm talking entirely new. I know there's 2 new characters
Yeah,
who
I
are
mean,
coming along,
Yeah, it depends on.
but we've seen them in promotional material.
yeah.
I'm gonna say no on this one.
I have no as well. Because I think there's so much that they're working with that they don't need to introduce more shit into this movie.
Yeah.
There's so much shit in this movie. We have fucking Dio, the hair
2
dryer
hours and
droid.
14 minutes, full of shit.
Dude, there's so much in this movie.
Knights of Ren.
The
Knights of Ren.
I'm excited to see what we get from that.
They'll be in the opening moments. I think the movie's going to open it on Fasana, that new desert planet, or whatever it's called, Kasana.
Tatooine 4.
Tatooine 7, yeah. I think that's going to open up on that planet, and they're going to be hooting and hollering, and they fly now, they
having a
fly
grand
now.
old time.
Having a grand old time.
Fly now.
28. Will we go to more than four planets
Yes.
on this journey?
I put no.
I put no as well.
It will be exactly 4.
I say more than 4 just because of there's so many things that need to be covered through the story, through flashbacks, through time travel, or whatever you want to call it. I think there will be 4 different destination planets that are visited.
Wicked's in this movie.
That's wicked.
Question number... No, I think that I said no because 4 seems like a lot. And
How many did we do in Rogue One? Because that felt like...
a new planet every 6
Yeah.
seconds? I don't know. Fuck that movie.
Fair enough.
No,
A lot of
sorry.
people like that movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
I thought it was great.
It's great, incredible third act.
There's at least 5 that I can think of.
At least 5 acts in that movie. Yeah, I felt like it. We're gonna do the new desert planet,
Yeah. Whatever planet the Death Star is sitting on.
which is Endor, or the the forest moon of Endor, so the planet itself has to be Endor,
Fair.
right?
Sure.
On the forest moon of Endor. So it's the moon of Endor, so the planet itself would be Endor.
Yes.
We're probably wrong. I'm probably wrong. So Endor, which probably is covered in ocean. And then, the planet, the Thieves planet that the new Zora Bliss is on, the new character played by Kerry Russell.
God, we're gonna be on so many
4.
planets, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's gonna be more than 4.
It's going to be more than 4.
Question,
It's
right?
going to be more than 4. I should have
6
thought.
planets.
I should have thought of my answer. Yeah, but I'm not changing them.
Can't change them now.
No, you can't.
I wrote in pen.
All right, guys. Down to the last 2 questions here. Will this movie be better than The Last Jedi?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think
Well, I mean, I guess a fairer question is, will you
we'll
like it
enjoy it more.
more than The Last
And
Jedi?
I think yes. I think
Also, yes.
JJ at the helm is just enough to be like, I really, really, really like The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like this is his continuation of that story and that movie. And so, yeah, I think it will be more enjoyable than The Last Jedi.
Agreed.
There's something about J.J. Abrams when he makes movies, and I've been a fan of his ever since the first. I didn't watch any of his TV shows growing up. I was too young. I was never a big fan of Lost. I know you were.
No, Pierce was.
Pierce was.
Yeah.
But ever since the first Star Trek movie, which I loved it because it was not that, like, it wasn't like Star Trek.
Yeah,
it was more Star Wars. Yeah.
than Star Trek.
And I know Star Trek fans hate those movies. Actually, I know a couple of hardcore Star Trek fans that love Beyond. Like, it's like the most Star Trek of them all, apparently. But I think, that trilogy, that third one wasn't helmed by him, but the first 2, I love those movies. The Force Awakens, I love. To me, that guy can't really do any wrong. I didn't like Super 8. To me, he gets it. Like, just seeing how he speaks through interviews, just seeing how he handles himself, just seeing how he works on a set. Like, I think this is a dude who is just massively intelligent, and he gets it.
People say he's safe, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, especially with a movie like this.
Especially if you do it well.
Yeah.
No.
With Force Awakens, bit of a retread of New Hope, this, that, and the other, but it set up new characters,
And it was very good.
and it was fun, and it was solidly made, and he knows how to pace a movie. That's why if this script, or if what was asked in this movie was on the shoulders of any other director, I would probably be shitting my pants. But because it's him, and he knows how to move a movie along, like pace-wise, I have this thing's going to be breakneck. Like, I'm sure that the first 20 minutes, I think, are going to be action-packed, and then we're going to lull and get our story going and introduce maybe some new characters.
And then action-packed again.
And then action-packed, and then maybe
Kylo and Rey fighting for the rest of the movie.
Battle number 3.
Yeah. One of the original questions I had on here, too, and I'll throw it out just because, is do you think there will be more than 2 big lightsaber battles in this movie?
I think we've seen more than 2, haven't we?
Maybe. They fight on the Death Star ruins, I think, and they fight in that white room with the helmet.
Yeah.
So will there be more than that?
Oh.
I think that there's a chance you see the Knights of Ren in maybe like a lightsaber battle with Rey, like maybe one.
They got, I mean, like, they got to have lightsabers too. Like, are we going to see?
Okay.
I guess I don't know. I threw that stipulation on there, but
I would say
Darkseid Rey, Vision or not,
Yeah.
she has a lightsaber. She's obviously getting ready to fight somebody.
so if she is a Vision. If she is Vision, no. If she is the incredible cross-universe collaboration, no. But like, if she is a Vision, we're assuming that it's going to be Dagobah Cave, light side Luke sees himself in the helmet.
That already. That's happened to her. She's had the touch with the dark side already.
Oh, what,
The
in Force
mirror.
Awakens? Oh, and the mirror.
mirror.
Right, yeah. I blocked the movie from my memory, so I don't even...
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's going to be light side her versus dark side her if it's a Vision, right? Or she just sees that?
I don't know.
We don't know yet.
It's not a Vision, so...
But I have all the faith in JJ that this can actually be pulled off. I think this movie's going to... I think once it hits the third act, it's just going to be mind-numbingly quick.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of things to take in. That's what some of the cast and crew have said. Is
We will have to go see it a second time.
That's what I mean. Depending on,
When? I don't know.
Or a third.
Well, it might be the same thing that we did with Force Awakens, where they just have so many open houses and seats that we can just snag a couple of tickets for an hour
right back
later.
in.
Yeah.
And if the movie's great, I'll be down to do that.
We are going early enough.
We're going at 6, so the movie will be over by 10, and probably. So we'll have to see what seating's like. Last question: do you think you're going to cry in this movie?
Yes.
I will cry.
I put yes, which
is odd.
Yeah.
I think for you, because you don't cry in movies very often.
I've definitely softened up as I've gotten older. I used
will
to be
cry.
very.
I think there will be things on screen that happen that will cause it, and if not, at least at the end when the movie ends, understanding that like this is the end of the Skywalker saga.
Yeah, let's take that in for a second. And I know, I've talked about this, but
Saga that has started 40 years ago.
this is, and then I'm gonna have one more follow up question, and then we can probably call it for the predictions video. But this is the last time. Yeah, this is the last time we are going to see a Star Wars movie for the first time in theaters in a long time.
Yes.
And a movie in the mainline saga.
Yep.
A movie that has all of the things that we love about Star Wars, mostly, or is at least connected to them narratively.
Yeah.
This is the last time that's going to happen. And going back to there's gonna be some scene in this movie that breaks me. I don't know.
Might be crying walking in.
Here's the thing though, man, is like even we're just talking about it, and we've been talking about it nonstop for 3 fucking weeks, and like the feeling in this room is kind of electric.
Yeah.
Because we're all so excited to see what happens,
Yeah.
And you can the path these movies have taken over the past 4 years, I don't agree with a lot of the decisions that were made, this, that, and the other, but, we have new characters and we have a story, and these trailers and this marketing for Rise of Skywalker, because after The Last Jedi, I had no idea what they're going to do or what they could have done, So after this marketing, I'm on board. I cannot wait. The score, too, and this is the last time John Williams is ever going to score a movie.
Yeah.
A Star Wars movie, that is.
A movie ever?
Who knows, man? From some of the
He is very old.
Some of the TV spots, Duel of Fates is back. All of these,
Yeah.
and if he does that, if he does that, where he reaches into the bag
Yeah.
and he pulls here's a couple of
that's
gold.
not him.
What?
That's putting Dual Fates in the trailers. That has nothing to do with
No, that doesn't have. No, but I mean, like,
reaching in the bag to
but-
put it in
but
the
I-
movie
but I mean-
again.
I mean,
It's
like-
But
here
if it
you
is,
go,
but if it
Star
is in the
Wars.
movie, that's just a marketing team going. That
Sure,
song is
but
popular.
still.
I think it could be that, but I also think that we could see
It was the best part of episode 1.
ripples of
One of many good parts.
ripples of his music throughout all of this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a grand finale.
Like
so
this-
you would assume that
Yes.
you're getting
100%.
all the greatest hits of Star Wars.
So I think I'll cry. I think there will be some emotional moments from what I'm hearing. Again, I have no idea. This could all just be bullshit. But I'm hearing that the ending is one of those wow endings.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to
hope so.
I'm
It
not
should
trying
be.
yeah, I'm not trying to put that in your head
I wouldn't
or,
expect anything different.
yeah, that's the thing too is yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like where everyone's always like it's that time in the Star Wars community again where everyone's like check your expectations, leave them at the door, and it's like
It's so hard to do that.
you can't.
Can't.
Yeah.
If you have
It's not
and I hate that sentiment because it's like having an expectation for something is your basis of whether or not you like it.
Yeah.
Like, did you like the Chinese that we had earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you expected it to be
Yeah.
What it was.
what it was. And if it didn't meet your expectations, you don't like it.
Was
It's
it
okay.
Was it DeBella's? No.
Exactly. But it's okay to have expectations.
Yeah.
That's normal. Everyone's like, because it's the whole thing of like, don't judge a movie based upon what you wanted to happen, but what it delivered. And it's like,
it's a fine
yeah,
line.
it's a fine line, and it's totally okay to have expectations, and it's totally okay to not like a movie because it doesn't live up to your expectations. I personally didn't not like The Last Jedi because it didn't do A through Z of what I wanted. I didn't like The Last Jedi because what it chose to do, it didn't do well.
Yeah.
Like
It was very
in my humble
very average movie.
in my humble opinion, it has some of the best Star Wars we've seen in years, and then it has some
But
of the
it was
worst
still
shit
very
we've seen in
average.
years. So
yeah.
I think that this is a very special moment for Star Wars fans.
Where did that come from? Your monster can.
Just saw you just pull it out of nowhere.
I felt like it's been gone forever.
No, I think it was between my legs. I thought you meant the point I made. I'm like,
No.
I think it ties together.
No, it's executed very well.
So here's the other question I have, because I was thinking about this. And unless you guys want to talk about whether or not you're going to be emotional some more.
No,
I think that will.
Yeah.
I mean, the final trailer already.
When we were putting this room together
we don't
last
need to
week,
talk about that.
that was the first time I'd cry. I teared up a bit. So I was thinking about this. And The Mandalorian, Chapter 5 notwithstanding, is kind of the counterpoint to this. But hear me out. I thought, oh wow, this is the end of the Skywalker saga. This is the end of the 40 plus years of Star Wars that I grew up with. The thing that I put on in my house, in my grandma's living room every morning when my dad went to work. I watched Empire and A New Hope and Return of the Jedi on repeat. All these characters that I've fallen in love with over the years, the prequels that I grew up with. This is it. Assuming that Star Wars is going to have new stories moving forward, I'm just going to assume that this is the last time we're seeing anything of the Star Wars that we love in terms of characters.
Anything of this magnitude for sure.
In terms of characters, in terms of events, in terms of this timeline, I don't know if it's ever going to be referenced again. Again, we're getting Kenobi, which will go back and put us in that universe again. But is Star Wars as interesting without its legacy?
It can be.
You take...
It can be, but if you just came out, say you remove Star Wars entirely and you come out with The Mandalorian, like, it would be cool. And if you sat down, it would be one of those things you would have to sit down and watch it and be like, oh, this is pretty cool. But you wouldn't go on Disney Plus and see, oh, it's Star Wars, Mandalorian, got to go watch that. You wouldn't do that because you'd be like, oh, it's just another show that Disney Plus has. Maybe I'll check it out.
Let me ask you this question then. If I told you the Emperor wouldn't be in this movie, Luke wouldn't be in this movie, there's no prequel references, Anakin's not in the movie, the only thing that's in the movie is Rey, Kylo, Finn, and Poe in the First Order. And granted, I have grown to love these characters, which I think kind of is another counterpoint to my point. But to me, I just had this weird fear of like, shit, am I going to like this stuff as much? When everything I've known about Star Wars my entire life is stripped away and thrown away and
It
put in
never
the
will
waste.
be.
Here's the thing though, they have to tell new stories.
I know, but it's still...
They will tell new stories, and it's a lot of it going forward is probably going to be a lot more of like the more narrow focus, like The Mandalorian, like Kenobi. It's going to be a very narrow story arc that they focus on. The only other time that we'll see something of this magnitude is if they decide to make a movie series about the Old Republic.
Yeah,
That's
which I think they're...
and I think they will, but that's the only time that you will get something on that magnitude, not only like characters, but like the galaxy as a whole.
And I think depending on how Episode 9 wraps up, whether there's still threads or whether it's very conclusive, we'll have to wait and see. I think we'll determine whether or not they put the next mainline saga films post Episode 9 or all the way back before Episode 1. Yeah. Which is still completely unexplored territory. We've not seen anything in
that would make the most sense because you have so much more content to work with.
You're not limited creatively,
right?
And you're not beholden to stories that are already.
And a lot of it's already written.
Yeah.
I mean, through different sources of media.
But yeah, I just had that fear the other day where I was like, oh man, we might not ever get Star Wars again with all these things that I love, you know, but. I have faith because Mandalorian came out, and to me, 4 out of 5 chapters are a home run, pretty much.
Yeah,
and it's massively interesting, and there's no Jedi. It is set in the backdrop of worlds that we know with an Empire remnant that we know,
and that will always be there, no matter when it takes place, no matter what.
You don't need Jedi to make Star Wars interesting. I mean, look at Rogue One. Rogue One was a good movie, even though you had Vader at the end. It was still a good movie.
You take Vader out though, and what's that movie?
It's not as good, but it's still a good movie.
Painfully okay. That I think. I don't know. To me, see, this is the cool thing about Star Wars, though.
Solo.
Yeah, I love Solo.
You have Darth Maul at the end, but you take Darth Maul out, Solo is still a good movie.
Yes, Darth Maul felt way more shoehorned, I think, than
he looked old.
Than he's Ray Park, man. He's getting up there.
Than
Vader. I think this is a good question, though, and I think it brings up a good point about Star Wars, that different people watch it for different reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, there are Star Wars fans out there that just love the fucking space battles. And, like, they get off on space battles and all the sci-fi elements and little intricacies. And then there are people like me who...
Jedi.
Yeah, like the big mystery of the Force and the magic of the Force and how that works and how everyone's connected to it in some way. And... finding out each character's relationship with the Force has always been the most interesting part of Star Wars.
I would be in that group as well.
But I also like TIE fighters and X-Wings and blowing shit up and Death Stars.
We all do.
You know, so I think that I got just a little kind of, I guess, you know, fanboy bankrupt, like scared of just kind of like, oh. And I think that lends itself to the speciality and to the, that wasn't the right word, to the gravitas and to the emotional weight of this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun.
Heck yeah.
It was very enjoyable.
Rise of Skywalker comes out very soon.
Yes, it does.
We're gonna, as soon as we see the
11
film,
days.
yeah, as soon as we see the film, we're gonna come back and talk about it. We'll probably do a spoiler-free section and then dive into
For about a minute and a half.
Yeah,
Either after seeing it once or twice.
we'll see. Do you guys have anything else you want to add about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker? Any predictions? Anything we didn't touch on that you want to talk about?
Dark Side is not a vision.
I'm just ready.
I'm ready too, man. I hope it's not bad.
It won't be bad.
It'll be good.
We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, that was the first episode of Notes for Next Time. We did our Rise of Skywalker predictions. If you got to the end of the video, thank you so much. My name's Mason.
My name's Mike.
My name's Taylor.
And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you soon.